Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Petrology Shubham. Today I will be starting with history and the topic is chronology sources. So I will be discussing the pinpoint important factors that led to the historical events and how the historical timelines are based on and how we use the basic dates and the prefixes or suffixes, okay, and what are the basic things that makes easy for us to understand the history, right? Let's start. So the chronology, in chronology, we discuss these particular suffixes that we use after the date lines, right? Before Christ, Anno Dominus, before Common Era, Circa, before present, okay? So just imagine a timeline, okay, in which the birth of Jesus was called as 0 year, okay? 1, 2, 3, okay? And this side it will go backwards. 1, 2, 3, okay? Imagine this particular timeline, okay? Now for before Christ and Anno Dominus, it is used by religious people to mark the year of Jesus as 0, and before it is one known as before his birth it was known as before Christ, and after his birth it was known as Anno Dominus, okay? Understood? Okay. For non-religious secular people, okay, non-religious or secular people, if they didn't count the particular birth of Jesus, they just used before common era and common era from this point of time, okay? Circa is used for some approximation, like circa 905 1905, circa 1912 when the Titanic sank, right? Before present is used by scientific community or scientists, like the formation of Earth occurred 4.6 into 10 to the power 9 years before present, like backwards how many years it has happened before, right? So it is used by the scientific community or the scientist. Understood? Any doubt? Please mention in the comments. So see, I was saying the same thing, like birth of Jesus was taken as 0 year, right? And after it, it was known as Anno Dominus, and or after death, that is a Latin word for after death, Anno Dominus. Before Christ, before his birth. Okay, understood? Like how we name first century BC. First century BC is just before the birth of Christ. Okay, first century BC. Okay, like 100 BC to first BC. These 100 years of 100 years, or it is known as what? Century. Okay, 100 years is known as century, 10 years is known as decades, right? And 1000 years is known as millennium, I guess, right? After his death, 1 AD, 1 AD means 1 year AD, and 100th AD, 1 to 100 AD or 100 years of AD is known as first century. First century, and it is mentioned on the above as well, that is first century AD or common era. First century AD or first common era, right? Likewise, it will go backwards before his birth, and in numerical order it will go forward in after his death, right? Let's move forward. So Indian history has been divided into three particular categories: ancient India, medieval India, and modern India. From the GSI point of view and most of the UPSC exams point of view, like NDA, CDS, we will be discussing modern India more, because most of this current or advanced development happened during this time, okay? Medieval India is also important because of the Mughal period and some of the Indian kingdoms as well. And ancient India is also important to understand the basic origin of our or the written history that is available in our Indian documents. The sources of history are taken in account from two types of evidences: archaeological and literary, okay? Literary sources. From the archaeological evidences, it involves excavation, inscription, and numismatics. From the literary sources, there are religious books, non-religious books, and there are foreign accounts, like foreign text that is related to India. Okay. What is excavation? It is the act or process of digging, as simple as that. We use, after excavation, we use the prehistoric materials and date them using the isotope of carbon, which is the carbon 14, right? Carbon 14, and we date them. Okay, we date them. So it was developed by the carbon 14 radio carbon dating was first developed by William William Libby. William Libby. Understood? Okay. Indus Valley civilizations of northwestern India are the examples of excavations, right? Northern Gangetic cultures where we found what? Houses, potteries, tools, weapons, and also some megaliths. Megaliths are what? Megaliths say direct meaning. The direct meaning you get from megalith is large stones. Okay, large stones. So some of the megalithic structures are also found in India, like caves and all. Okay, and one of the important megalithic structures in the world is Stonehenge, right? Very old and very uh, beautiful example of prehistoric humans, right? They have set according to the sun calendar they used, right? We have found megaliths in the southern Indias, like in the form of caves, dead buried with their tools, weapons, encircled by big pieces of stones, right? Like in olden times, people used to bury their elderly like this, and they used to circle him with some precious metals or tools that belong to him or to his family. Inscription is what? Inscription is like written things, huh? Or हिंदी में बोलते in Hindi it is known as गोदा हुआ, right? Written or inscribed on the cave walls, on tablets. Tablets are like square form of or irregular form of uh, thin or a little bit of like a stone type of things in which on which people used to inscribe the writings, their pictures, their figures, right? The study of inscription is known as epigraphy. Very important. Note, like you should keep in mind. The study of inscription is known as epigraphy. The study of old writing in inscription is known as paleography. Okay? The overall inscription study is known as epigraphy. But among the epigraphy, the older writings which are not even decoded now, it is paleography. Like Harappan seals from Indus Valley civilizations, right? The first inscription that was decoded in India was of Prakrit language. Okay? It was Prakrit language. Very important. Note it down. They can be on seals, pillars, rocks, copper plates, and temple walls, as I mentioned. Okay. Ashoka and Mauryan inscription rock pillars like the Sarnath pillars, right? रॉक जिसके ऊपर एक लाइन बैठा रहता है, राइट? line sitting on top of the pillars, and we will see some inscription on those pillars as well. Copper plates showing land grants, revenue, and see these they used in the those time, during the Mauryan period or Gupta period. People used to inscribe these revenue systems or the rules, and used to mention it or show it to people so that they can follow it in their daily life. One more evidence on the basis of numismatics, it is that study of coins. Numismatics का मतलब क्या? What do you mean by numismatic? It is study of coins. Okay, most coins are from most oldest evidence of coins from Indian history point of view is from Kushan period and post-modern period. Okay, in which name of kings, gods, date of coronations, like Rajyabhishek जिसको बोलते हैं, when a new king was made, a date of coronation is like that. Reigns very helpful to understand the coins. Okay, important point from this particular slide is first gold coin was minted by Kushans. Kushans were also known as Indo-Greeks. Okay, and most of the gold coins were found from Gupta period. Gupta period. Gupta period is also when our India got the name of what? सोने की चिड़िया, golden bird. Yes, during Gupta period, India was the richest country in the whole world. Okay. From the literary point of view, okay, there are some old transmission of knowledge. Now, history is on two bases. Okay, one that is oral, and second that is on written basis. So there are some religious texts, non-religious texts, and foreign accounts that we have to consider when we talk about history. From the Hinduism point of view, in the Sanskrit language, we have Vedas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puran, Aranyakas. ठीक है? From Buddhist point of view, we have Pali language, Pitaks or Tripitaks जिसको बोलते हैं, Abhidhamma, Sutta, Vinay Pitak, and the Jataka tales. Okay, Jain literature have Bhagavata Sutra or the 16 Mahajanpads, which are mentioned in the ancient history. ठीक है? You must just read some of those particular examples that I mentioned in the previous slide. Okay. Law books, non-religious texts. When we talk about non-religious texts, law books like Dharma Sutras, Smritis, ठीक है? From 500 BC to 500 AD, there are some evidences of that kind of books. Okay. Now, from these particular non-religious texts, you should know that there are some questions that already been asked in the UPSC, like Arthashastra written by whom? Kautilya, or in India or in Hindi, he is known as Chanakya. Arthashastra, okay, it was written by Chanakya or Kautilya during the period of Maurya, Chandragupta Maurya. Mudrakasha written by Vishakadatta. Harsacharita written by Banavat. Okay, Banavat written Harsacharita. It is very important, very asked question. Okay, Rajatarangani, very important. Kalhana written by Kalhana. Rajatarangani written by Kalhana. Rajatarangani actually describes what? History of Kashmir. Raj Tarangani talks about the history of Kashmir. Then Malvika Mitram, okay, written by Kalidas. Harsacharita, again it was okay, repeated. Amogha Varsha written what? Kaviraj Marga. Amar Kosh by Amar Sinha. Okay. Now the important one are Arthasastra. See, among these particular sources also I am telling you what are the importance. Harsacharita, Rajatarangini, and Amar Kosh. Okay. There is one more book written by Panini. Yes, many of you know that who is Panini. Panini was a rishi who written the first Sanskrit grammar, right? First Sanskrit grammar or the first grammar book written by Panini. But what was the name of that book? Very less people knows about that. It is Ashtadhyayi. The first grammar book written by Panini was known as Ashtadhyayi. Okay, चलो ये सब important चीजें, you should remember these things. Okay, let's move forward. Some of the foreign texts that is related to India, like Megasthenes during the period of Maurya. Megasthenes was a Greek writer or Greek philosopher who wrote Indica describing the kingdoms and the beauty of India of that period, right? He came during the Maurya period. Periplus of the Aetherian Sea. Periplus of the Aetherian Sea is its writer is unknown. Okay, let's move forward. Fa Hien and Huyen Tsang. These both are Chinese scholars who came to Nalanda and Taxila to do some research thing. Okay, Fa Hien came during the Gupta period, and Huyen Tsang came during the period of Harshvardhan. Okay, Harshvardhan is one of the kings from Haryana region. Okay, and Gupta period and was one of the largest dynasty before Maurya, right? Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni wrote what? Kitab Tariq-ul Hind, based on whom? Mahmud of Ghazni, one of the Turks from Turkey. Okay. Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta wrote Rihla. Ibn Battuta wrote Rihla based on Tughlaq. Okay, based on Tughlaq. So these are the basic or important foreign texts that is related to India, like Indica, then Al-Biruni ka Kitab Tariqul Hind, and Ibn Battuta ka Rihla. You must remember these points. Okay. Now, when we talk about the history of the prehistoric chronology, the particular timeline has been divided into these particular ages. Okay, like since the advent of the first human. Okay, like 2.5 lakh साल पहले, like 250,000 BC years earlier. So it has been categorized like this: Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, and Chalcolithic. Okay, you must understand this. And what were the basic important things happened during that period, we must know. Starting with Paleolithic, it has a timeline of 250,000 years to 10,000 BC. Okay, and whereas Earth is 4 billion years old, like much older when even the first human appeared. So humans or proto-humans have been around for 1 million years. Okay, like humans or proto-humans, like the human-like people, human-like beings have, like they appeared around 1 million years, like 10 lakh years पहले से ही ठीक है. But after the cold climate and ice age, like we have studied the Paleolithic age much more in a wider manner, and before that it was known as just megalithic age. Okay. Now, during the Paleolithic age, most of the earth was covered in under ice and thick sheet of ice. Okay, that's why cold climate or ice age was there. Tools and implements of rough stone and bones. During from that period, we have rough stone and bones like tools that have been excavated. Man was a living in a hunter-gatherer type of uh, thing in a setting. Okay, and it was towards the end stages of when the hunter gathering was ending and social organization began, because slowly people were also getting into the language systems. People were developing languages during that period at the end of the Paleolithic. Okay, even sounds were language for them. Important sites of Paleolithic are Sohan Valley in Pakistan, Godavari Valley in Maharashtra, Bhimbetka near Bhopal, Narmada Valley, and Tungabhadra. ठीक है. Important ones are Sohan Valley, Bhimbetka, Narmada, ठीक है, Godavari. These are very important questions that has been asked by the UPSC. Mesolithic is the period 10,000 to 4,000 BC. Warm climate, man moved to new areas, tools became more sharper, people became more a little bit sharper as well. The tools together, small tools went together known as microliths. See here in the picture illustrated here. The small tools, sharp tools were together known as microliths. Still, they were having hunter-gathering setting. Domestication of animals began. This was the first time they started to bring or domesticate animals and make them into their livestock, right? Important sites are Bagor in Rajasthan, Adamgarh in Narmada Valley, Bhimbetka again, Sarai Nahar, Rai, and Birwanpur. Now there must be question. There can be a question which can be asked like which of these particular sites have been related to Mesolithic as well as Paleolithic age, right? Then your answer should be Bhimbetka, right? Bhimbetka दोनों में discuss किया गया, okay? Neolithic age is 4000 to 1000 BC. Earliest evidence of Mehergarh, Baluchistan 7000 BC. Like Neolithic age का वहाँ पे आपका मिल जाएगा evidences. Domestication of animals widespread now. Domestication बहुत ज़्यादा ही बढ़ चढ़ के हो रहा था. It was in a widespread manner. This was the Neolithic age was the first time when people started agriculture or developing crops, growing crops, and settled in a sedentary lifestyle. Like they were developing some houses or tiny houses and started to settle. Settlements were beginning to appear during this age. Okay, cooked food were developing. Wheel were first appeared in this age. Pottery as well. Polished tool like stone axes. Okay, polished tool also developed like slowly from unsharp, irregular tools in the Paleolithic to sharp microlithic tools in the Mesolithic, then stone axes, much more advanced polished tools in the Neolithic age, right? Some important sites are Burzahom in Srinagar, Jammu Kashmir. ठीक है? This is known for pit dwelling. Now pit dwelling is what it in the exam picture illustrated in the downside I have given here. See, people that Jammu Kashmir region was very cold, right? So people used to build some underground pits, and above that they used to cover it with mud or hay and bush stacks. Okay, so that inside they can stay warm. Okay, they can stay warm during the harsh cold weather winter from in the Jammu and Kashmir. So this was known as pit dwelling, like people used to build pits below and used to live there. Okay, same thing is still used in Africa as well by the African tribes. Okay, Africa it is like just opposite. they dig it so that they can stay colder. Their rooms can be stay cooler in comparison to the hot and humid weather of the outside savanna region, right? Or the lower African region. Again, Mehergarh, Balochistan, then Chirand in Bihar, Brahmagiri in Karnataka, very important. North Kachar Hills in Assam, Garo Hills in Meghalaya, Daojali Harding in Assam, very important. Bhimbetka again. Bhimbetka is again discussed in this particular age as well, right? The Neolithic. Now, the importance are Burzahom, Chirand, Garo, Daojali Harding, okay, and Bhimbetka. Chalcolithic age. Okay. Towards the end of the Neolithic periods, metals like copper, bronze were used. So first time metals like copper, bronze were starting to appear during this particular end of the Neolithic and start of the Chalcolithic. That's why Chalcolithic age getting its name from copper only. Okay, copper. Okay. Uh, the geologist people must know that chalco, there are some ores like chalcopyrite, right, which is based on copper only. The first metal used was copper. Important. The first metal used was copper. Okay. Crop cultivation. Kindly please ignore the sound behind. Crop cultivation. Religious beliefs developed, village communities fortified, settlements started to appear. Okay. Important sites are Ahar culture, Ganeshwar, Damabad, Malwa culture in Narmada river, right? So the important are Ganeshwar and Damabad. Damabad is very important. Now, there are some certain questions that we can discuss here. So as we have studied in the previous slides, epigraphy से क्या पता चलता? What do you understand by epigraphy? Is related to inscription. As simple as that. Stratigraphy, from the geology point of view, most of you should know that objects found in different layers of earth is related to stratigraphy. Okay, is related to stratigraphy. Paleography. Paleography is also related to ancient scripts. Okay, old writings. Okay, old writings. Then what will be the answer? For A it is 2, for B it is 4, for C it is 1. Iconography is related to sculptures, and paleography it is ancient scripts. Okay. Then question like this can be asked as well, like I have already mentioned radiocarbon dating. Which of the following discovered the radiocarbon dating? It is William Levy. William Levy. Okay. Now William Jones. Who is William Jones? William Jones is one of the important Oriental writers during the period of British era. He used to be in India as well. He found what? He was the founder of Asiatic Asiatic Society of Bengal. ठीक है, Asiatic Society of Bengal. He established it for what? For spreading the idea of Oriental writers, right? The basic education of poetry and writing. Okay, William Jones was that person. John Marshall is one of the greatest judge in the U.S. history of, and he was the he was also posted as the judge of the Supreme Court of United States of America. Okay, he was one of the famous person. Mortimer Wheeler is one of the important archaeologists from 20th century, as far as I know. He was one of the famous archaeologists from 20th century, a British archaeologist. Okay, British archaeologist. So if from this point of view you can from this particular options, important questions from William Levy can be there, William Jones can be there, John Marshall se ho sakta hai questions. Okay, let's move forward. Now here there are some particular sites which are related to the ages. Okay, now you yourself should answer this. Okay, अपने comment section में तो या खुद इसको पीछे पीछे के slides के go backwards and see the slides where these particular sites have been discussed in this particular ages or cultures and market. Okay. Harshacharita, like I said, right? The Harshacharita is written by whom? It is written by Banavatta, correct? It is written by Banavatta. You should know. Kalidas ने क्या लिखा था, विशाखा दत्त ने क्या लिखा था? You should know all these things. And I have already mentioned the very specific books. So इससे ज़्यादा पढ़ना नहीं है. Don't go outside of this. Follow a simple and single source and just do maximum revision. Minimum source, maximum revision. This should be your mantra right now during the exam or before 1 month of the exam. Like do maximum revision of the minimum resources. Okay. Thank you for watching. Kindly share this and subscribe to my channel, and also share this with your juniors and seniors and who are all already preparing. If you have any queries, kindly WhatsApp me in my number. Okay. Thank you for watching, and yeah, do share and like and comment, because you know people, that's how YouTube algorithm works, right? Thank you so much. And if you have any improvements, that if you have any suggestions so that I can improve my slides or the way I dictate, please let me know in the comment section. Okay. Thank you so much.